Welcome to Reaching World Podcast, where we highlight the world's largest network of influencers for good, love, and service. Join us in saying thank you to these incredible individuals and organizations by listening, subscribing, and sharing their legacies. And by doing this together, we will help inspire others to leave their legacy of service and love. I'm your host, Zach Garner.
Okay, I'm here with Michael Marra, the CEO and founder of Entre. Michael, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no problem. Thanks for being on. Hey, so do you want to do me a real quick favor and tell me about your company?
Sure. Yeah. So like you said, it's called Entre. We're a whole network and platform for entrepreneurs to help basically have people connect easier, faster, get educated on, how to start and grow a business. And we're also working on a lot of software and stuff to help people run their business a lot easier. So basically just streamlining the whole entrepreneurship process, making it less difficult, less lonely, and helping people, along their journey to, create something magical in this world.
Dang, man, I love that. And so how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so a lot of it was honestly through personal obstacles, failures, and just the want to meet other entrepreneurs. So like I was telling you earlier too, my background's in civil engineering, so not really anything business related necessarily. And when I first got into entrepreneurship and everything and, online business and marketing and real estate and all sorts of things, I was just trying to meet other entrepreneurs. And because no one in my family was really an entrepreneur, none of my friends are entrepreneurs, it was difficult and it was really lonely. And I was trying to meet others, and there's not really a medium for that yet, right? A lot of people are finding co-founders or partners and stuff on Instagram or LinkedIn or, a number of different places, Facebook and whatnot, but it's not really designed for entrepreneurs, and it wasn't really set up for entrepreneurs specifically. So I just started building a little mastermind group, and it just continued to expand. And once I realized how many people are interested in entrepreneurship, how many people are interested in this whole new economy that's basically being created through freelancers and creatives and entrepreneurs and startups, that, this doesn't have to be a little mastermind group. We can create a whole social network for entrepreneurs, basically. So that's pretty much how we came up with it. And it's been expanding, as we've been growing everything into education and software and stuff, like I said earlier, too.
Okay, that's awesome, bro. And you said you majored in civil engineering. Why did you switch over to entrepreneurship?
So it just got to the point, like I had a really, it was pretty solid setup, had a very conservative job. Engineering field is a pretty good setup once you get out of, if you can make it through school and get out and, get a job and everything. It just got to the point where I felt like I wasn't living up to my potential, and I was doing kind of a very repetitive thing every day. And although as an engineer, you're designing and building things, there's no creativity in that. So when my creativity was dead and my curiosity was dead, and when I was doing the same things over and over again, I couldn't take it anymore. So I was always interested in business and always interested in investing. And that was the first thing that I got into, was like stocks and stuff. And I was doing all of that in college. And then I got really into real estate, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I got into a bunch of other, online businesses and whatnot. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And like a lot of people have said too, like once you kind of like catch the entrepreneur bug, you can't get rid of it. Once you cross over from the consumer side to the creator side, you can never go back. And when you realize how much power you have and the ability to create things in this world, you never want to do anything else again. So yeah, it kind of spiraled out of control from there.
Switching over from civil engineering to entrepreneurship, what does your family and friends say about that?
Yeah, it was, it wasn't the easiest thing to do, because you're leaving a really, solid industry and doing something that's completely unknown. So a lot of, my friends and family still don't really completely understand what it is that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that's why, having a supportive community and other people to talk to about it that are experiencing what you're experiencing, it makes it so much easier, because otherwise you'll think that you're just going crazy, and then you're just around so much negativity that it's going to be hard to persevere through that unless you have other people you can talk to. So yeah, it wasn't easy. Like it's hard when you kind of have to, leave, a lot of friendships and stuff behind, like
safety
just
and security.
to pursue Yeah, it's you got to step outside of your comfort zone, which a lot of people talk about, but it's really true. And you gotta start being around people that are pursuing similar things to what you're doing, or else you're just gonna get caught up in the same old stuff all the time.
Yeah, I 100% agree, bro. And so you briefly mentioned it. What keeps you persistent? Like, what keeps you going?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, and there's this whole dynamic with motivation and how to keep yourself motivated and whatnot, because there's so many ups and downs with entrepreneurship that you have to figure out something that you're so obsessed with. And I know like that word can sometimes seem negative, but you literally need to be obsessed with something and so just interested in it to no extent, and really just want to see it happen more than anything else, or else you're never going to be able to get through the down times. Because with entrepreneurship, you can have the best day and the worst day in the same day, in the same morning. You could get one phone call at 8 that's terrible. You get another phone call at 9 that's amazing. You get an email at noon that sucks. You get a call in a meeting at 2 that's amazing.
Yep.
So there's so many things. It's so dynamic and things change so fast that when you do have a bad experience, you have to push through it and just think back to what you're creating and why you did it in the first place. So discovering your why is so critical at the beginning. And one of the main things that I got wrong when I first started, because my main motive when I first started was mostly money and to be a successful real estate investor. And when I realized that that was a terrible way to go about being an entrepreneur and a really bad way to get into a journey into business, because there's nothing behind it. There's no purpose behind it. So now anytime, something bad happens or whatever, bad news, I don't take it as bad news. I take it as, okay, this is just another thing that has happened. And, who knows what the outcome to this actually is. This might actually be a good thing. And because I am obsessed with building the largest network of entrepreneurs and helping as many entrepreneurs as possible, and I know that's 100% aligned with who I am, everything's going to work out fine. If your focus is just how can I make money, and I see a bunch of other people doing, e-commerce or Amazon store or whatever, and they're making money in it, or being real estate, I'm just going to do that too. And your whole thing is just like to make money and, be successful. You got to figure out what success means to you.
What's your why? Absolutely.
And what is your why? 100%. Yes.
And what is your why?
It's to help as many entrepreneurs as possible and to make it way easier than what I've had to go through over the last, 4 or 5 years now. So
that's very awesome, bro.
I've seen and I've experienced almost every kind of obstacle you can go through. And now that I know, like starting a company is actually not really difficult. Like it's the general, like starting it is actually the easiest part, right? It's the hardest for some people because there's so much fear and doubt in their mindset that they have to get over that. But starting a business is really easy. What's hard is building something that's long lasting and having the consistent approach to do it every day and the discipline and to be able to persevere through the ups and downs of it. That's the hard part. And that's what separates everybody from, the people who fail to the people who are massively successful.
I see. And I love your mindset about all of that. What was the process that you had to go through in order to develop that kind of thinking?
Ooh, good question. Really good question. So a lot of it is, obviously taking in knowledge from mentors, through books, videos, whatnot, and learning from people who have gone through it before. A lot of it too is just self-experience and self-discovery, self-awareness. Like I've gone through so much self-analysis and self-discovery and figuring out who the heck you are, right? That is so important to do before you get into anything, because if you don't understand who you are and what business aligns with yourself first, you might be working your ass off, but going 1,000 miles an hour in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
You need to make sure that, because here's the thing, if I only work 10 minutes a day, but I am absolutely loving and enjoying that work, that 10 minutes, and I'm putting in, it's just a super productive 10 minutes and I'm enjoying it. And then someone else is working 12 hours a day and they're frustrated and annoyed and they're not really enjoying their work, right? My 10 minutes was 1,000 times more productive and better and moving me in the right direction than their 12 hours was.
Yep.
So it's so critical to make sure that you understand like yourself and your purpose first, because otherwise you're kind of just digging yourself a hole or going in the wrong direction. You need to make sure you get your focus, laser like, and then you can start, putting it in. And then, when you do that, you're going to enjoy the work. And it's going to be something that, you don't really care how many hours it takes, and the time in the work shouldn't even be a factor because you're just going to enjoy it so much.
And you could tell a huge difference between the way you felt in civil engineering and entrepreneurship, huh?
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you lose your curiosity and your creativity, I think part of you dies.
Yeah. 100%, dude. Okay, so now that you got the killer mindset going on, you got your company, what's the next step? What dream are you currently chasing?
Yeah, so for us, when we started building this community, and we do a bunch of events now, in Pittsburgh, Philly, New York, Miami. We're going to be going to a bunch of other cities this year, out to Silicon Valley in June, and, really start building out our network in a lot of different cities and whatnot. When we realized how many people are interested in entrepreneurship and interested in a community for entrepreneurs, our focus shifted to let's create a social network and an app for this community rather than just an online community or membership site or Facebook group or whatever else. So we're getting really close to starting to test that right now with our existing network of 15,000 entrepreneurs from all around the world, and we're going to get a lot of feedback and whatnot, and that's what I cannot wait until this is out and I can play around with it and I can use it, because I'm an ideal user for my own thing, that for our for our app too. I'm a founder, I'm an entrepreneur and whatnot, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and to see how things go. But I'm just excited as to all the connections and how much value we're going to be able to provide to all these other entrepreneurs out there who are struggling finding their team and co-founders and developers and mentors and investors and you name it. It's going to be so easy in getting the questions that they need answered and figuring out how to start and grow and what steps to do first and all sorts of things. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, dude. And I don't want to be brown nosed or anything like that, but I really do love that. I love that, man. Especially me being, I'm going through the same thing. Your platform really, I feel like it would help me a lot. It would help a lot of listeners that tune into this. Yeah, I know this is cliche, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot. Do you have any secret sauce? Like any secrets to your success at all?
So it's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, people always want to know like the secret, like to success and whatnot. And I was always searching for it too. And the one thing that I would say that is so important, and it's really like the only thing that matters, is like you have to get your mindset right. And you have to focus on feeling good.
Yeah, wow.
And I know it sounds weird, but
no, dude, I like that. I honestly like that.
You go through so much, like the majority of people go through their day-to-day lives not really enjoying much of it. And they substitute pleasure and fun and think that that's happiness and whatnot, like, and live for the weekend and all this stuff. And there's a lot of people who talk about this stuff and a lot of the, entrepreneur influencers like Gary Vee and, all these people. But you really need to, at the beginning, do a lot of self-discovery before you get into anything deep. Because I'll tell you from experience, you end up just going through and working really hard and hustling and grinding at something that you actually really didn't even want in the first place.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So do you really want to build a successful business and be a CEO and whatnot? Or do you just want to be financially free, right? And how do you want your lifestyle to be? Do you want to be wearing a suit in an office all day, every day? Or would you rather be, the flexibility to move around and travel and wear shorts and a t-shirt every day and work from your laptop or phone?
Mm-hmm.
I think more people need to figure out what is the lifestyle that they want.
Okay.
and don't necessarily focus too much on the exact plan. When things don't go how you think they want to, it's not always a bad thing.
I agree with that, dude. And I do. No, like that was a great answer, honestly. And I'm feeling some of that currently, feeling good about yourself, You put you first, and then you can really figure out where you want to invest your energy. And I think that's
100%.
pretty important. And you mentioned getting your mind right first. And this is a question we love to ask here. What is your favorite personal development book everyone should read, do you think?
Yeah. So Law of Success by Napoleon Hill is phenomenal. And it goes into a lot of really interesting things, a lot of, stuff I've kind of hinted on too, but we don't really even understand the power of our minds and how much we can actually create just with our thoughts and being aware of our thoughts. And instead of focusing on what we don't want, we need to start focusing on what we actually do want. So a lot of people focus on the negatives and, I can never do this. I can't do that. How do I start a business? I need money in this and that. It's like, no, there's a million ways to get what you want. Let the universe provide them for you and just focus on that thing and it will come in. You know what I mean? It's really hard to do because there's this weird element of everything called time. And sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as you want. You know what I mean? And one of the real things that I'm learning too is patience and how critical patience is with entrepreneurship. Everyone wants the fast, easy, quick way and the instant gratification and all this stuff. The people who play the long game are always the ones who win.
I agree with
and
that 100%.
And it's so hard to do. It's so, because when I first started out as an entrepreneur, I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire the first month after I leave my job and everything's going to go great. You know what I mean? And it never goes like that. It never works that way.
Yes, sir. I know, dude. Okay.
And you have to, understand that, and you can't get upset by how long things are taking because you shouldn't even care, because you should actually just be totally obsessed and enjoying what you're doing, that you don't even care how long it takes, because you need to sign up for something that is going to take, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. That's what I've heard some people say. Something like, the thing is, like, the people that stick with it are the ones that are happy right now. Like, they enjoy the process and not the outcome.
Yeah, it's very, very true, because that's your day-to-day life. That's, you know what I mean? If you're feeling good and you're enjoying the process, you're great. Who cares what happens? Like, you're enjoying the ride. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people don't enjoy the ride, I feel like.
Yeah. Because they think that they have to hustle and grind and work super, 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 super hard.
Yeah.
That's not 100% true.
They have to work hard on the right things.
Bingo.
All right, perfect, man. And then this has been great. I really have enjoyed this. I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then we'll talk about where we can find Entre. If you could have a billboard for the entire world to read, what would you like for it to say?
I love this. This is the famous Tim Ferriss question, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a good question, because I listen to him a lot, and I always think about this too. So,
it's
this is something question. That. No, for sure it is, and I always go back to and to answer one of your earlier questions, like, as well with this too. I think one of the secret sauces that I do have is I think really big. And I see the grand picture, and I have a depth of vision, right? And I would put on the billboard, just think big.
Think big.
Because most people think so small. And even a lot of entrepreneurs that I know think small. And they're the biggest thinkers. So instead of, try to figure out ways that you can change the world, impact people. But on the other hand, that's not for everybody, which goes back to, figure out what's for you. You know what I mean? Figure out who you are and what you want your ideal life to be like.
Yeah, dude. And you know what you're saying is so true. And all the guests we have on here, when we ask that question, it pretty much is that, dude. And it's just think big, because a lot of people don't even realize how small they are thinking. You know? Totally understand it, bro. All right, perfect. And so let's talk about Entre for a little bit. Where can we find that? Is it a website? Where can I get a hold of that?
Yeah, so everyone can go to joinentre.com. Just join, JOIN, and then Entre, just like the beginning of entrepreneur, if people are having a hard time understanding what how it's spelled. It's just ENTRE. And yeah, they go there. They can get early access to the app. They can jump into our online channels now to connect with some of the members who are already in, and then they'll get first access to the app when it rolls out. It's going to be free for everyone. You'll be able to connect with entrepreneurs from everywhere, and then we'll have some higher level memberships with other things in there. But if anyone's in Pittsburgh, Philly, New York area, like we're doing monthly events in New York at Microsoft for entrepreneurs, all different kinds of topics. We've had like really high level speakers, big VCs, angel investors. We had the co-founder of Venmo and like a lot of really cool companies. So yeah, it's going to be, we're going to be coming out to other cities. We're always looking for people to, host events in their city and build up a local entrepreneur chapter. So, anyone who needs help, wants to talk, whatever, feel free to reach out. You'll be able to find me on there and chat with me about whatever. I'm always open to that.
And this genuinely does sound like a great program for these listeners to use, because a lot of these guys are entrepreneurs that are looking to get themselves out there. So this is great that you have created that platform,
Yeah. And anyone who wants to, connect with us on social, it's just at Join Entre as well. And I'm always on those channels too, so I'll pretty much see everything that you guys post or whatever, connect with us with. But yeah, I mean, we're dedicated to helping entrepreneurs, in any way that we can. If we, for whatever reason that we can't help you, we're going to direct you to, a partner, some other organization that we collaborate with or whatever, to help figure out whatever it is that you need help with and to help get you on the right path.
Perfect, bro. I love it. Okay. Again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome.
You got it. It was a great time. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it was good talking to you.
These episodes will be launched on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you'd like someone to be on the podcast, if you think there's someone in your network that should be recognized for the good they are doing in the world, please reach out to us and send us a direct message. We can be found at Reaching World Podcast on Facebook.com. So be sure to find us there, like our page, and submit any ideas or suggestions of individuals or organizations that should be highlighted on this podcast.